All right. So again, this is going to be bonus coverage on today's video. Maybe a one-time thing, because again, it was like the old school type of way where I manually was typing in numbers, and I had to manually download the holdings, copy paste style. That's right. So yeah, for that, you better hit the like button. That's the rules, son. That's the rules. All right. Anyway, so I kind of split this up. This is the download of Misty Holdings. I moved stuff around. At the top here, you're going to see their synthetic, one of their synthetics. There's two synthetic positions. This one actually, it expires very soon on June 18th. It's a 180, right? You see the 180 put here and then the 180 call. Both have an expiration date, again, of June 18th. So it can be open until then. They can roll it sooner than later. It doesn't really matter. But right now, this position, you can see it's in the hole. Because the put is a negative 122,000 million, sorry, million, and the call is only worth 18 million. And what is the reason for that? Well, it's because of the underlying. So if you pull up the underlying of MSTR, even after hours, it's down. It's at 158, 159-ish, right? So if we go here, obviously 159 is less than 180. So when they open this position, they are typically at the money. So MSTR, again, when they open this, would have been around 180. So since it's gone down since that time, obviously the value of the overall synthetic combo, they call it, would go down, being it's worth a negative 104. Net total. All right. Does that make sense? All right. Let me scroll over here. Well, we'll get into that part later. So the next synthetic is a 180 as well. They could have opened it around the same time. I don't know. Again, we're not tracking it as closely as we used to. But, this one, it expires on July 17th. So they have a little more time to make a move here. You could see this one, negative 84,000. I'm sorry, million. Jeez, I can't read or talk today. 84 million, and then the call is worth 26,000 with a net of negative 57,000. So again, this is 29,500 contracts. The first synthetic was 51,000. So if we combine the two, we're looking at about 80,965 contracts on the synthetic. All right. But again, both 180, with some gold diggers here, Now, I did also group out the covered calls. So there's 4 covered calls this week, and they vary. The lowest one is 152.50. The highest is 160. Now, again, remember, strategy is at 159. So 159 is greater than all of these except 160. So if I scroll to the right, you'll see, freaking right works. You'll see we are in the money. We are in the money. In the money. Money, 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 money. Dollars, dollars. All right, so let me do a conditional format for you suckers. Is, where we go, less than 0. There you go. Less than 0. It turns pink. Pink. How about red? How's that? Beautiful. All right, so we're in the money on 3. We're out of the money on 1, but only by 0.57%. Okay. What does in the money mean? It just means we blew through, the covered calls. So obviously at the time, these would have been like 2, 3, 4, 5% out of the money. And since then, MSTR has gone up in value, from there. Okay, now what about what the heck is this? Like what's going on here? These are the the buy calls. They bought some calls that basically they do that when they sell the calls. They do what's called the credit call spread. When you sell a call at this strike, X, and then you buy a call at a higher strike, Y, right? So, you know, the two combined, they call that the credit call spread because you get a credit. In the end, it's a net credit premium. So, you know, now these strike prices vary. You know, they're down to as low as 162.50 all the way up to 172.50. Now, as MSTR continues to go up, these will continue to grow in value. So you have two things battling, right? You have the covered call, which again, if MSTR goes up, this will cost more money to close because you can see it's a negative figure. But as MSTR goes up, this will increase in value, all right? Helping appreciate, you know, the underlying, you know, the actual ETF itself. On the flip side, if MSTR goes down, these will be cheaper to close. So this negative number will decrease. And then obviously on the flip side here, if MSTR goes down, then these will be worth less. You know, and that part, you know, they call that the, you know, the intrinsic piece, right? Extrinsic value, time value, of course, as time goes on, that will eventually dwindle down to nothing. But these expire on Friday. So they got, you know, these are typically weekly trades, sometimes maybe 7 to 10 days. But they all expire Friday. So you got 5 full trading days to see how this plays out. And yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see. Now, I did capture the delta. I don't know if you guys saw this, but because I was just curious, like what it looks like over here. Because again, we've been diving into options ourselves lately. If you watched yesterday's video, I'm trying to really do all different strategies. I'm trying to understand all types of options, different ways to make income, you know, and really the delta is such an important part of everything, you know, and I wanted to show a little love to the delta. So if you look, the buy call, the sell put, the same strike, the same expiration, as they say, that is delta neutral, delta 1, right? That just means, you know, the value of it will move 1-to-1 with the underlying. All right. So if the underlying MSTR goes up $1, the synthetic should go up $1, right? That's the idea behind it. So if you see the deltas, 0.76 here, 0.25 there, they add up to $1. It says $1, whatever, $1, $1. But yeah, and it makes sense because that's what it's supposed to be. Now, if we go here, same thing, same synthetic combo there. So both synthetics, deltas total $1. So all right, someone has a question. Biggest Woody, do the call spreads seem tighter than they used to be? I don't know, honestly. I haven't looked at this in a while, but we can take a look real quick. The lowest call was 152.50. The lowest buy call 162. So $10. Is that tighter than usual? I don't know. You have to think percentage based, not dollar based. And maybe. But I don't know. But we shall see. All right. Anyway, let me finish up this coverage. So that moves 1-to-1, right? So with just the synthetic and no covered call writing, we would just move 1-to-1 with the underlying. It would basically just be MSTR. So what the heck's the point of that? There's no point. Or else you just buy MSTR. But the reason we buy this fund is because they actively trade MSTR, right? What do? They sell covered calls. Now, when you sell a covered call, you're going to limit your upside, right? You are going to limit your upside to an extent. So you see this negative 0.59. This is the average delta of the covered calls. So the idea is you would take the 0.59 and subtract it from the delta of, you know, the synthetic. And now it shows 42 cents, which means now, okay, dollar per dollar, MSTR goes up $1, we're only going to go up 42 cents. Or vice versa, if it goes down $1, we're only going to go down 42 cents. That's pretty much what it means. Again, plus or minus, this is just the average, so it's not really exact. Keep that in mind. It's also, you know, this is just another way to think about this ETF. Now, don't forget, they bought calls, right? So they did the credit call spread. So if you add that into the mix, you'll get a net of 0.74. So now dollar per dollar, it can move 70, you know, essentially 75% of what the underlying does. And this is only for the portion that they're selling calls on. Don't forget that as well. I know we didn't cover that yet, But, and let me know if I'm confusing the hell out of everyone, but I'm just hoping this helps a little bit. They're only selling calls on 72% of the position. So this 0.74 delta is only for 72% of the position. The other 28 will move with the underlying 1-to-1. All right. Does that make sense? So, and some of you may like that, some of you may not. I don't know. You guys tell me. What is this? How you know, do you like the way, again, me, as I've been trading options more and more, managing a fund like this is definitely not easy, man. It is not easy. And it could be a lot for sure. I can't even imagine, but obviously they do it for a living. So I'm sure they have, good tools, good processes in place that, versus us, like we just have to go on the freaking, our brokerage. But sorry, take a sip of coffee. But yeah, so if you think about it, instead of just looking at the covered call, all right, we're blown through, it's over, we're capped. No, not really, because we'll move 74 cents per dollar on 72% of the position. And then again, the other 28, there you go. So, and if you think about it, I could do this. I was trying to think of the math. I couldn't think of it earlier. So if 72% is uncovered calls, you multiply 72% times the total delta, right? Hold on a second. Okay. So points, again, 0.74. So if we take that and multiply that by 0.74, that's a 53 delta, okay? And then, so you take 100% and you minus 72%, that's the remainder. And for that, you get one delta, right? So you do that times 1, because again, the 27% moves 1 for 1. So if I add these two, technically, the delta is 80 on the entire position, meaning it should move 80 cents per dollar, either direction. I don't know. That's how I calculated it. Hopefully someone smarter than me watching this can let me know if I did that right. But that's my thought behind it. Again, it helps to actually do the trades yourself, because then you can see how it really works and behind it. So I don't know. Any questions? Let me know, since we're on this page right now. Cooper, you like the breakdown? That's good. Okay. Huge thumbs up. Sweet. No, thank you. It was fun. But again, it's just a little prep work this morning. So like I said, 80,000 contracts on the synthetic. They're selling calls on 58,000. So yeah, 72% of the position. We highlighted here. Again, most of the assets under management, they sit in treasury bills. We know this, right? And that can be used as collateral, and it is used as collateral, for the synthetic position, because the synthetic position, the sell put part of it, it requires collateral. This freaking stock is not cheap, so that they use the treasuries, of course, which that's a stable option of collateral and hopefully earns us some damn interest. And you can see again, the majority, if not all, of the money is in freaking treasuries. We got about 500K in cash, though. And they always need cash on standby because they pay weekly now. I wonder if MSTY will convert to daily. Imagine that. A daily dividend. I don't think people want that, to be honest. I don't know. I could be wrong. I know Sade is doing it, but I'm wondering who's going to be second. All right. Assets under management, about 1.3 billion. So still a gigantic fund. Outstanding shares, they total about 57 mil. So if you, divide that together, you get 2301 being the NAT. Did I not do that right? Did I miss something? I put it on the table out there. All right, let me add. I think I missed 12. Yeah, I missed 12. All right. All right. So 1.2 billion outstanding shares of 57 mil. All right. So 22.26, much closer. So it's a 3-cent gap on NAV versus ETF price. Underlying price is right here, 159. All right. So there you go. There you go. That's the breakdown of the holdings. Well, that's good insight. I would have not figured that out. Great breakdown. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So with that 27%, that moves 1-to-1. Does that prevent against NAV erosion? Well, I mean, 27. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing again moves 80 cents per dollar. The other part of it is earning you premium. They're selling options to earn you guys premium to pay you out the distribution. If the whole thing was a Delta 1, you wouldn't get any premium. You wouldn't get any distribution. And what would be the point? There's no point. Again, there has to be some risk involved if they're gonna pay you out weekly on a weekly basis. How are they going to get the money, right? There has to be the risk, and obviously, yes, that is the risk. But yeah, again, it's the NAV erosion word. That could be debated if that's the right term or not, but which I don't think it is really, because it doesn't. You have to just understand how the fund works. What would limit it on the upside? What would help on the downside and things like that? I don't know. I may jump in GDXY named DY, trying to boost an account to cover property taxes. It's not a bad idea. That's actually the one bill I don't pay out of the brokerage. Well, you know why? Because the town is so out freaking dated. I have to mail a stupid check. Like, don't get me started. And my property tax bill is beyond ridiculous. We got Grumpy 2. Thanks, DD. Okay. Oh, DD said GDXW will do better when gold miners goes up. GDXY better when down. All depends on the timing too. If it goes up slowly, then GDXY could be GD whatever that. I can't remember all these friggin' tickers anymore. GD whatever, right? Anyway, let's go to the Guestimania tab. I'm not sure if we covered house money.